Hello. I'm not one for making negative reviews, since for one, I think other people do that far better than me. And for two, I often enjoy looking at the positive aspects of games, since I believe that offers more to think on in general. But you've seen the title of the video, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Dracula X for the SNES is awful. While this game may bear the name Dracula X, this is not the original version, and to lessen the confusion throughout the video, I'll be calling the original version by Run to a Blood, since that's part of the translated name. So, with that out of the way, how about we start with a little history, to catch everyone up. Here in the West, as we had gotten 5 Castlevania games on mainline consoles, Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 from the NES, with all of them being classic games. Now, while that title for 2 has been called into question throughout the years, 1 and 3 are really great games that bring a really new style to the NES library. Then after the stand-up job at 3, the Super NES followed that up with Castlevania 4, which practically is a retelling of the events of 1 with a whole new coat of paint, and for the first time gave us more ability to control the whip. And its sister game on the Genesis, Castlevania Bloodlines, gave us new characters to play in John Morris and Eric Licard. Now, Castlevania 3 had introduced the playing as multiple characters concept. Bloodlines was the first to have it be a selectable option from the main menu. So then one may question, what will the next game be like? Well, we got that answer in Dracula X. Now, to begin with a positive, a massive change Dracula X brought over was the ability to jump on and off the stairs, which massively changes how you traverse the stages. But the biggest problem Dracula X has is that jumping is ass. So in general, what differs from past games is that Richter jumps higher and further than past Belmonts, which can lead to situations where you just jump to your death, because Richter has zero control after he leaves the ground when you make a forward jump. Another massive issue is the whipping. It's hard to explain, but Richter whips slower than past Belmonts, and in Dracula X, the whip's hitbox isn't active until it's at full extension, which usually isn't an issue, but can cause problems if you need to kill enemies that are in your face. The only good thing Richter has going for him is the sub-weapons are better than past games. They do more damage, come out faster, and you can do super moves, but that doesn't change 2 big issues this game has. The Holy Water costs 3 hearts, and it's the best sub-weapon, and this game has a fucking penchant to give you fucking knives out of the blue for no goddamn reason. Now, this would be fine if it was just at the start of screens when you die, so you can get the sub-weapon, but no! For some fucking ungodly reason, midway through some screens, you just get given the knife for shits and giggles. Now, you can get back your old sub-weapon, so it's not that bad. But fuck, is it annoying when you're trying to move quickly, you can just lose your sub-weapon for the fucking knife because you don't notice it. Come to think of it, I should elaborate on a few things. We'll start with the jumping. In general, the style is the same as past games. What makes it worse here is often the jumps you are expected to make look barely possible, or are barely possible unless you get to the edge of the platform. Or flat out look impossible, but you're able to make them still, but the icing on this masochistic cake is the moving platforms, or platforms that affect how fast you move, can either just kill your momentum, or give you way too much, so you overshoot your jump. As well, while you're dealing with the platforming fuckery, you're forced to dodge or kill the monsters that are fucking annoying you to death. The fucking red skulls especially. Or, you know, you're placed in a location where one bad hit or one slightly too short jump and you'll just die. Or have to make your way back through a horde of fucking monsters, or a horde of fucking Medusa heads in some cases, just to give it another goddamn try, which further makes the issues with the whip so much worse, which means you gotta lean on your sub-weapons more often. But then again, we come back to the issue. The biggest issue is that a number of the fucking monsters that are intentionally placed on these paths can just deflect weapons like the knife, the axe, even the goddamn cross. So the only sub-weapon that can affect them and can't be deflected is the holy water. But as previously mentioned, it's 3 fucking hearts, or what is often 2 whips worth of damage. And this is not just me complaining about bad game design. Very much often, you are forced into rooms with these spear fucks that can thrust up and hit you in the ass. By trying to deal with the one on the floor you're on. It's really annoying, especially since you have to whip them to death, because unless you're on a lower floor or get really lucky or know the timing, they can just deflect the axe. The axe is the only other sub-weapon that's really useful in this game, but again, it's barely useful because most of the time you're having to contend with the fact that you have to time it right, and each wasted axe is a wasted heart. It's fucking annoying, and it's bad game design. Honestly, I've got little more to say about this whole game, so instead, I'm going to skip to talking about Stage 7, the last stage of the game. Now, in every other Castlevania game aimed in this style, Dracula's boss fight is the last stage. But in Dracula X, the last stage ends with this fight. So if you game over, you gotta redo the entire fucking stage to get another chance to fight him. Now, this on its own wouldn't be killer, but this last stage is filled to the fucking brim with bullshit and some of the worst placed enemies possible with Medusa heads. So in short, this last stage isn't super fun to play, and you're likely to lose the few lives you have on the way back to face Dracula. But if you get to him, it's likely you won't beat him, since the arena in which you fight him is filled with fucking bottomless pits. So one bad hit is death. And this arena doesn't change with any stage of the fight. And I'm not 100% sure, but Dracula is a 2 or 3 stage fight, and I'll be honest, I just can't beat him. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's pointless. Because back in Stage 3, if you fell during the marble pillar section, you got locked into the bad ending. There's more than one ending in this game. And you are fucking rewarded by finishing the harder version of Stage 4 with the bad fucking ending, not the good ending. And all of this to say that, in the end, it's pointless to play this game. In short, you shouldn't even bother unless you pick it up because of the Advanced Collection. But seriously, the only reason you should play Dracula X is because of the Advanced Collection. It's just not worth your time otherwise. This game just isn't fun. I enjoyed my time playing Castlevania 3 and Castlevania Bloodlines, and these are often considered some of the hardest in the series, for different factors. And they are tough, but they are fun. Really fun. Dracula X isn't fun. It's repetitive. And while the music's good, it gets annoying after a while. Not even every OST is great. And, you know, it gets really annoying after you have to replay the stage 6 fucking times. And while, without contest, it's the best looking Castlevania game of the 16-bit era, we all know the game can look great but still be absolute shit to play. And that's just the truth. Castlevania Dracula X isn't fun to play. It just isn't. But to end this out, here's the morning sun at the end of this particular nightmare. Dracula Blood has modern ports, and there's an enhanced port for the PSP called Castlevania the Dracula X Chronicles, which ups the visuals. It includes the original version of Rondo of Blood, and, as a bonus, Symphony of the Night. And so many little extra features and music. You're spoiled for choice on how you want to play the uncorrupted version of Dracula X. So, happy hunting, and we'll see you the next time evil comes lurking about. This is Epic, signing off.